Does She-Ra and the Princesses of Power set up a new He-Man cartoon? The brand new She-Ra dropped on Netflix this week and it's creating a lot of buzz. But fans and critics alike are both wondering, where is He-Man? Today's investigation will explain how She-Ra and the Princesses of Power laid the groundwork for a He-Man spin-off. Hey, just a heads up folks, there will be spoilers for the new She-Ra series throughout this video. You've been warned! While She-Ra and the Princesses of Power has made a few changes to the classic She-Ra lore, they've largely stuck to the known premise. Adora lives on the planet Eternia and is raised by the evil Horde. She becomes their military captain before realizing she's fighting for the bad guys. The magical sword of protection calls out to Adora and bestows upon her the ancient power of the legendary warrior She-Ra. One thing that the series does not dive into is where Adora came from. We are told that she was saved and adopted as a young child by the evil Horde.
I saw talent in you the moment I found you as an orphan child and took you in.
In the classic She-Ra series, we learn that the Horde's leader Hordak kidnapped baby Adora on the planet Eternia before retreating through a dimensional portal back to Etheria. If you recall, Eternia is the planet where Prince Adam and He-Man reside, and is also where you will find Castle Grayskull. And even if you've only ever seen the new She-Ra, Grayskull should be a familiar term for you.
For the honor of Grayskull!
On top of this kidnapping revelation, it's later revealed that Adam and Adora are twins!
What are sisters for, anyway?
Sister? What do you mean?
He-Man, I think we have a lot to talk about.
Pretty convenient! So while this wasn't explicitly revealed in the new She-Ra series, the lack of concrete details on where Adora came from leaves the story wide open to eventually bring in Prince Adam and reveal that Adora is from Eternia. And we actually do get mentions of Eternia in the new She-Ra series when Adora is in the Crystal Castle, further connecting it to He-Man's home planet.
Eternia.
In this new series, the Crystal Castle was built by an ancient civilization called the First Ones.
Who are the first ones?
The first ones were explorers who journeyed from beyond the stars to settle Etheria.
So we know that the First Ones were the first to settle on Etheria, and this lines up with the lore we know from the original She-Ra series, where the First Ones were believed to be ancient ones from the planet Eternia. One newly introduced aspect to She-Ra's lore is the idea that previous humans have been appointed the power of She-Ra, but Adora is the first to hone that power in 1,000 years. This was because of the actions of the previous She-Ra, a woman named Mara.
Mara stranded us in the empty dimension of Despawn Dose. She broke the She-Ra line.
Despawn Dose is a pretty deep-cut He-Man reference that comes from the 2002 series, my personal favorite He-Man show. In that show, in Eternia's past, Hordak attempted to imprison the ancient King Grayskull in the dark dimension of Despawn Dose. King Grayskull reversed the spell, instead imprisoning Hordak and his Horde soldiers in the dimension themselves. In the new series, it appears as though the previous She-Ra purposefully imprisoned all of Etheria in Despawn Dose in a desperate attempt to protect it. This means that while Eternia and Etheria do exist in the same universe, currently Etheria is trapped within another dimension. This brings up another important question. If Adora is originally from Eternia, how the heck did she end up in Etheria? Well, in 2002's He-Man series, it's established that powerful sorcerers can open portals to the dark dimension of Despawn Dose. In the new She-Ra, there is one powerful sorceress who seems to have particular interest in Adora, and it happens to be the sorceress who raised her, Shadow Weaver. While the original series explicitly showed Hordak kidnapping Adora, the new series states that Shadow Weaver was the one who allegedly found her. We think this likely means that Shadow Weaver opened a portal back to Eternia in order to kidnap Adora. This is further hinted in Adora's flashback visions, which show a dark portal. A baby's cries can be heard in the background during the portal sequence. Could these be the cries of Adora herself? This would also explain why there has not been a newly appointed She-Ra in 1,000 years. Theoretically, the She-Ra line had continued on in Eternia, but the Sword of Protection resided in Etheria. When Adora was taken back to Etheria, the She-Ra line could continue once again. So what does this all mean for She-Ra and its connections to He-Man? Well, it essentially confirms that Eternia and Castle Grayskull both exist in the new She-Ra series, and that there is an in-universe reason that Etheria's connection to Eternia has been blocked. Theoretically, if She-Ra is able to free Etheria from the dark dimension of Despawn Dose, this would re-establish Etheria's connection to Eternia and potentially allow for a Prince Adam / He-Man appearance, also revealing Adora's true heritage. While the show did lay out some lore that gives us direct connections to He-Man, the current state of He-Man's rights are not quite clear. She-Ra showrunner Noelle Stevenson stated in interviews that they were not able to use all characters from the entirety of the Eternia canon, though it isn't clear if DreamWorks simply doesn't own those rights or if they are working on another He-Man project and don't want She-Ra to step on the toes of the creative process for a He-Man show. If they don't have full ownership of He-Man, that doesn't mean that these copyright issues can't be worked out in the future, especially if She-Ra is a success. And they've set up a great in-universe barrier to overcome before a He-Man connection can be established. But the most important thing about the new She-Ra series is that it stands on its own without He-Man. The characters and relationships make the series great, and it doesn't need to rely on the He-Man characters to tell a good story. We just love the lore of Eternia and Etheria, which is why we really hope that DreamWorks can start working with more He-Man characters and lore. They've clearly been given a good amount of freedom with some of the characters and backstories, but we'd love to see He-Man spin off of She-Ra and allow for 2 simultaneous series in the franchise. They could even do a major crossover event every year, tying the shows together, maybe around Christmas. But what do you folks think? Should they spin off a He-Man series from She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, or should the two remain separate? Did you catch any more references to classic Masters of the Universe lore that we missed? Let us know below in the comments. I'm gonna be stretching my mecha neck to be reading those comments. And do not forget to check out Talkin' Tunes, where Rob Paulson talks to the best voice actors around to discuss the business and read fun scripts. New episodes of Talkin' Tunes drop every Friday on ProjectAlpha.com. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Animation Investigation. If you like today's case, do not forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share us with your friends, and keep coming back for more investigations. That's going to close another case. Catch you on the next Animation Investigation.